Okay, first things first. The following is not a review of a porno movie. Perverts, you have 5 seconds to click that little X button up there in the corner before I kill all of your boners by talking about dystopian sci-fi. Okay, they're gone. So, year of the Sex Olympics. It's a 1968 British teleplay, written by sci-fi TV god Nigel Kneale, the creator of Quatermass. Neil's less well known outside the UK than some mid-century TV writers on account of him having absolutely nothing to do with Doctor Who. Instead, Neil did things like adapt George Orwell's 1984 to the small screen, and get it shown, in prime time, on a Sunday night, because that's called having balls. It caused a national upheaval, complete with debates in the halls of Parliament and legends of a lady in Herne Bay dropping dead from shock during the original broadcast. Now, call me a morbid fuck, but I always wondered just how long she lasted. I mean, was it the 2-minute hate that got her, or did she make it all the way to room 101? Yeah, I'm a morbid fuck. And that's probably why I like dystopian futures. Brazil, Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451, Soylent Green, Death Race 2000, Rollerball, Logan's Run, Blade Runner, 4 out of 7 Planet of the Apes movies. Hell, I love them all. So I was predisposed to love Year of the Sex Olympics.
Right, studio. That does for the warm-up. Thanks.
It's because here, 14 years after he brought Orwell to the BBC, Neil turned around and answered George with this. Too bad the old man been dead for 18 years before this came out. If he had seen it, I bet he would have said, "Damn, son." Or he would have sued Neil for plagiarism.
Mish, how can you? Here on output, high drive personnel, you madhead.
Mad, if you get like that.
5 seconds.
Queuing, studio, auto lock, on.
See, because like 1984, Year of the Sex Olympics tells the story of one anonymous clock puncher from the not-too-distant future as he realizes just what kind of prison he's in. He tries to leave, but that, of course, only plays into the dystopian future society's plans, and he ends up reduced to an animalistic state of dependence upon them. And the ending's not so much a twist as a jab. When Neil gets going, he's like Rod Serling, when Rod Serling's in a particularly bad mood.
That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So it's sooner than we think, and the three-headed dragon of war, automation, and overpopulation has finally driven the human race into... what? Domes? Underground cities? Space stations? We never really find out, because this movie blew its budget on all these swinging 60s sci-fi bodysuits. Also, you better make damn sure you speak English.
They're not liking it. What got these two? Can't they do it?
Just fun?
Yeah,
Just play?
just nothing, not sex, not anything.
Studio fright, maybe.
Babies.
Or you're going to get smothered under these accents. Never mind the fact Neil made sure to throw in plenty of future speak for us.
Take all experiences secondhand. Just sit watching calmly and quietly.
Watch, not do.
Mm-hmm. Watch and undo, that's it.
Because if nobody speaks Newspeak, how will we know this is the future? Ooh.
And remember, my friend, future events such as these will affect you in the future.
No, seriously, because the setting here is pretty damn familiar. It might have been new and novel to a 60s TV audience, but I'm pretty sure everybody in the BBC recognized the real target of Neil's satire. So in this not-too-distant future, the world's divided into 2 classes, high drive and low drive. The high drive stay in, wherever this is, living hedonistic lives full of casual sex and substance abuse.
I thought these were supposed to cancel out.
Yeah, after 10.
Must be on top of all the strain.
And I bet you guys can quit anytime you want, can't you? When they aren't screwing their minds, or each other, our high drive heroes put in work at the BBC. of the future. That's the price they pay for their lives of luxury. Constant maintenance of the status quo. See, the low drives of the world, those who exist out there, must be kept from breeding at all cost.
Time before we got apathy control, it was a real maybe time. Everything got tried then. Bombs and books and prayers. Love, the last of the politics. It all added up to tension. The more tension they got, the more people they got. They were just building up the explosion.
But at some point, someone in the distant past figured that setting them in front of their idiot box will keep them from doing pretty much anything. So long as they're entertained.
Sex is not to do. Sex is to watch.
This means that out of all the institutions in the modern world, only television survived the apocalypse. Everything else in the high drive world is fully automated for its citizens' comfort and convenience, even the chess sets. Relationships form and break apart without any of our modern animosities because the responsibility for everything is pretty much out of everyone's hands. Breeding pairs are selected by computer analysis and their children are raised by professional nurses, leaving the adults with plenty of time to roll around under the covers and giggle. Not so bad as dystopian futures go, but damn it, we need a malcontent or we won't have a story.
Funny.
What's funny?
Why people laugh.
Yeah, there you go.
You laugh like them when you drop somebody in it. She laughs at people because they fat or old or not like her.
I laugh 'cause they funny.
And so meet our main character, Nat, program coordinator for the runaway rating success of the future, Sports Sex.
We gotta run a real top power for you. And remember, the toppest can get to the Sex Olympics. This is the year of the Sex Olympics. Sex Olympics here.
See, the high drives figure, as long as they keep feeding the low drives vicarious thrills through the medium of television, they can keep the low drives from fucking and overrunning the planet with hordes of all those icky poor people.
Cool the audience, cool the world.
It's what the world needed. Just to call a big halt. No more progress. It was done kindly. No, not by lasering fetuses, or chemical conditioning, electrodes. No, none of that. It was no threats. No, just by gentle discouragement.
Hence, TV of the future has to be the crassest, most intellectually vacuous, lowest common denominator crap you can imagine. Okay, that's funny. Nat accepts all this at the start, but there's just something eating at him he can't quite put his finger on.
Still not feel I got the right words for him. Where they go, coordinator? Why they go? All those words.
Maybe it's just because his ex, Deanie, keeps calling him up, telling him there's a problem with their child, Ketten. Despite having two high-drive parents, Ketten's test scores indicate she may be a low drive, and thus condemned to a life out there. This adds fuel to Nat's ennui, but it's not the source of the problem. In typical 1984 fashion, Nat can't even quite articulate what the problem is, because the words we'd use to describe it have become anachronisms, like war or family.
People didn't need him, Matt. They got out of having the thoughts, so the words went too.
Then Deanie introduces him to her new guy, Ken Hodder. No, that's Kane Hodder. If I wanted to do Jason of the future, I'd do Jason X. I'll let Tracy Morgan speak for me on that regard.
No. Hell no. No. I refuse. No.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll do it eventually. Ken, though, he's not happy. He's the coordinator for Art Sex, the respectable upmarket counterpart to to Nat's single elimination tournament show. Ken's got his own cross to bear, in the form of some horrible pictures he just can't get out of his head.
When I get what to make them on, I wanna show them to them out there, to the whole world. I want to make them see. I want them to hurt.
And like most avant-garde art, they get pretty much the reaction you'd expect, ranging from this to this. By creating Ken Hodder, our writer turns the social satire around. showing that living face-up in a high-powered spray of mass-produced crap will stifle the genuine artist as much as it stifles the common prole. But whereas the common prole will usually rebel in small ways, like refusing to act like a lab rat in a Skinner box...
Come on, laugh. See that hit him in the eye? Not funny?
The genuine artiste is liable to do something melodramatic and stupid, like break into the set of Sports Sex. And he'll probably get himself killed.
Look at my pictures!
That's called suffering for your art right there. The complete accident surprises everyone up in control when they notice the ratings spike, making this the best episode of Sports Sex ever. This gives Nat and his Padawan learner, Laser, played by a Brian Cox so young you won't even recognize him.
It's what they need, what they want, what they gotta have!
Until he starts overacting. The inspiration to invent reality TV.
Suppose you've got just a few people to live like old days and watch them to make a show, but alone. Nobody ever tell them what to do. A total risk.
Get sick, even die?
That'd be the show.
Okay, so it's not really reality TV, but why do you think I'm talking about this dystopian future out of all the ones I name-dropped there at the beginning? It's because, as writer-actor Matt Gaddis is supposed to have screamed at his TV upon first witnessing the existential horror that is Big Brother, Nigel Neil was right!
I was right. The audience, they can take tension, even want it, so long as it not happen to them.
This is the real world, Survivor, and Big Brother all in one. Maroon 3 people on the Isle of Man, easily the most desolate wasteland in the British Isles, outside of Soho, of course. Plant cameras everywhere and watch the rats run their maze. The rats back at home can salivate over everyone's suffering, while the rats up in the control room can congratulate each other on a job well done. But, as I'm sure every TV producer in my audience is saying to themselves right now... yeah, right. Where's the conflict?
It's a show. Something's gotta happen.
Enter the psychopath, a former Sports Sex contestant exiled out there for killing his partner during rehearsals.
There's no audience, and we get this breakthrough 12 years ago. How about that?
Sad for me.
Yes, it's sad for Palope.
Look.
So we got 3 people. 4 really, but we never find out who this woman is or what her story is. She's just kind of there to add to the tension and the body count, trapped on an island with a psychopath. Why hasn't this show already premiered on Fox? Not enough bland pop songs, I bet. So the wild man of the Isle of Man does what psychopaths love to do, and the audience is entranced, laughing maniacally at Nat, Deanie, and Ketten's suffering, much as you'll probably be doing when you get to this point. Only Nat's former boss, coordinator Hugo Priest... I see what you did there, Nigel. Who's old enough to remember the old times, realizes the full horror of what he, Laser, and Nat have wrought.
We are dead, and this is hell.
And who says hell is other people? Really, though, hell is knowing you've got something to say and not being able to say it, either because social conventions prevent you, or because nobody knows what the fuck you're trying to say in the first place. But thanks to the wonders of modern technology, we can broadcast our pictures to the entire world. Or our opinions about a whole bunch of other people's pictures. And the whole world can promptly shit on them. Much like I'm about to do right now. Because even though I'm recommending you track down Year of the Sex Olympics and watch it, I have to throw in some provisos. After all, this is a late 60s BBC teleplay, so a lot of it is people standing around. The same 4 sets. Talking. Or laying in bed. Talking. Or sitting in chairs. Talking. And this would be the textbook definition of stagey direction. But I think it serves the subject. I mean, you can't whiz-bang your way through this. Or do what you do with most modern sci-fi dystopias and delude yourself into thinking it's good just because all the matte paintings in the background look so pretty. But Nat's house, just to pick an example, is so damn aesthetic it makes Monk's cells look downright busy. This works in universe because everybody's forgotten what art is and surrendered all their wall space to the ever-present screen, and it works out universe because the play leaves you with no real choice but to sit down and hear what the fuck these people in funny clothes have to say. Because the medium is not the message. Yeah, sorry Marshall, I like your shit, but you got it all wrong, man. You got it all backwards. The message is the message. And the message is a warning. Aimed not at us, low-drive TV watchers that we are, but the very TV professionals Nigel Neil knew and worked with. It's probably the same message he tried to tell them straight out every day of his damn life. You could use this marvelous communications tool to turn everyone into a high drive, but you probably won't. Then you'll fall all over yourselves in a grand race to the bottom. The message fell on deaf ears until sometime in the mid-'80s, because the BBC wouldn't get around to making up an archive policy until about 10 years after this came out. So the original color version of Year of the Sex Olympics, and it was originally broadcast in color, that's why everybody's costumes are so fucked up, was literally wiped out of existence at some point in the 1970s. This black and white telerecording, that's kinetoscope if you're an American, is all we have. So if you're one of those people who just can't stand black and white or movies without an action sequence every 15 minutes, allow me to cordially invite you to fuck right off. The rest of us will be enjoying our sex Olympics. And you really should track this down, because it's a well-done character study that does what all good sci-fi should, and asks more questions than it answers. Do we need our censors as much as we need our savants? What machines can we really rage against when our lives depend upon them? And can we even put up a meaningful fight anymore, now that cameras, screens, and images haunt every aspect of our daily lives from the cradle to the grave? So much so that it's all become entertainment. And what's more entertaining than watching other people suffer, am I right? I mean, I know that's why you watch my show. So, tune in next time, when we'll all suffer through something horrible together.
What you need is what they selling. Make you think that fine is rebelling. From the theaters to malls on every shore, the thin line between entertainment and war. The front line is everywhere. There be no shelter here.
God help us in the future.